Hi guys, I'm Giorgio from Giorgio's Bottega, and today we're gonna take a look at the John Lofgren boots. These are pretty messed up. We're gonna show you how to take care of the Horween leathers, and also we're gonna repigment these. I know a lot of you guys don't like to repigment them, but we're gonna repigment these, and then we're gonna give it a nice mirror shine on the toes. All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna inspect the leathers. We're gonna inspect the shoes, just see if it needs anything. And pull off the laces. So inside the bellows you collect a lot of dirt, dust, even dog hairs, and you just want to wipe those out. And then the next thing we're going to do is just put some shoe trees in these, because I like to polish them with shoe trees in. Alright, as you can see we got some white marks here. Got a little paint or something on here. We're going to get rid of these first. We use Renovateur thinner for this. It's a little bit less abrasive than acetone or the Angelus leather prep. My first thing we do is brush off all the excess dirt. Trying to get inside those welts. Especially where those threads are, it's going to collect a lot of dirt because we use wax threads. And the wax is what's going to collect all that dirt. So first thing we're going to do is clean these down with some saddle soap. I love the Saphir saddle soap. You got to be careful with which saddle soaps you use because some of them do contain lye. We're going to build up a rich lather. I really like to use the Empire brushes, so you can really get it in there. Alright, now we're just going to let these sit for 30 minutes and just let them dry. Alright, so it's been about 30 minutes and we allow these time to dry a little bit. I still got some white, I don't like those, so we're going to take care of that. Alright. Now for you Horween purists out there, one of the best things is the oiled leather from Saphir. And you just want to massage this in with your skin. I always like to take the excess off and just massage it into the leather. This is really good for the Horween leathers. So now we're just going to let this sit and allow it to penetrate into the leather for about 5 to 10 minutes and we'll be back. Just trying to take all the excess off, and you want to brush it down. And if you're a Horween purist, you want to stop at this step. That's all you need. Alright, so now we've cleaned them, we put the oil finish. And if you're not a Horween purist, you could go straight, skip the oil finish. You could use the Renovateur, which is one of the best products out there for reconditioning your leather. Use a nice cotton chamois. And again, little goes a long way. And as you can see, that Renovateur is actually really pulling off all the more dirt and more dust. Condition while it cleans. So all the steps we're showing here is actually equivalent to what we call our CEO polish. Alright, now we're just going to let that Renovateur just sit in there for 5 to 10 minutes and really just absorb it into the leather. We really want to nourish these things because they haven't been taken care of. Alright, so we let these sit for about 5 minutes and now we're going to just brush them off. Alright, now we're going to get straight to it. I'm going to repigment these areas. This area is here. One thing I love about the Horween leathers is how you can see the edges. You can still see the natural because it's not dyed all the way through. And I'm going to avoid that, and a lot of times I'll use 2 polishes, black and neutral. I'm going to start off with the black. And using the right polish is very important. Maybe a little bit expensive, but it actually does a lot more than most of the polishes do. This one conditions, it's going to nourish, and it's actually formulated for maximum penetration into the leathers. So now I'm just repigmenting these. Being careful not to get any on the welts. Some guys, they tape them off. Like my dad said, I got a few years on you. Again, I'm just using the black in the areas that need it. Some of you may get your John Lofgren boots and you'll see a little hole back here in the counter or the back stay. This one is right here. They try to hide it. And what that is actually when they go to last it, they actually stick a clinch tack or a nail in there just to hold it in place while they finish the lasting process. Now I got all the areas that needed it. I'm going to go ahead and use the neutral polish. Again from Saphir, just to provide more nourishment and just give it an easy, even polish. I'm going to work some of this neutral polish into the welts. I want to get some nourishment into the Goodyear welted threads. That way they don't dry out, crack, or break. These shoes will last you generations if you take care of them. Now we have to let this sit for 5 minutes, and then once it's dry enough, we're going to go and buff them down. Alright, so we let them sit for about 5 minutes. They hazed up a little bit, now we're just going to brush them down. Create a little sheen. You can work in circular motions to get all the excess polish out of the perforations, or the broguing. So as we're letting that sit and just absorb more of this polish, we're gonna clean off the soles. 20% alcohol, 80% water. Now you're wondering what these are. These are actually Giorgio soles. They're not the stock soles on the John Lofgren boots. Which we're prototyping, and they should be ready, I think, in about another 2 or 3 months. All right, since these are combat boots, we're gonna actually spit shine the toes and the rear quarters here. So we got the Saphir Mirror Gloss, which we find to be the best over anything. Lincoln, Kiwi Parade Gloss. And let's get to it. And on our spit shines, I actually prefer to use a microfiber cloth over a cotton chamois. Really important to get even layers on this, because otherwise they look a little choppy. Repeat the step. Again, really important to get a nice even coat. All right, so we allow this to haze up, and now we're gonna actually melt the wax. I like to use an alcohol lamp. You could use a heat gun, you could use the alcohol lamp. This Horween's really gonna wanna absorb a lot of that wax. So it's gonna take a few steps to do this. Let it haze up again. This one's already ready because Saphir has so many hard waxes in it, they just dries really fast. The really important here is pressure. Not too much, not too little. And you really want to heat up the waxes. I forgot to mention on the first coat, I don't like to add water because I want it to all absorb into the leather. And in one sitting, there's only so many coats of wax you could do. If you're looking to do a spit shine, you're not going to do it in one night. It actually looks better the next day if you come back to it. I don't know if the wax has to settle or what, but that's just the nature of the beast on that. So now we're going to put another coat. Again with my microfiber cloth. Takes a lot of patience. We're gonna let it sit, come right back to it. So this is really repetitive, and you're gonna actually need to put a lot of coats on here to get that desired spit shine look. And in order to save you time and not watch 50 coats, we're gonna, after this coat, we'll speed it up and just show you. And then we'll finish it up with one last one on camera. So now I'll begin my water process, which gives it the name Spit Shine. I like to use a spritz bottle. For some reason the wax just sits on there, and then when you do it again tomorrow, it accentuates it. I'm going to use two polishes for the final coat, a neutral one for the edges, and the black for the toe caps. So before I do my edges, I'm going to take off any excess of the black polish that I might have gotten on the welt with some thinner. You could use the Angelus deglazer, which works really well. We use the Rainier thinner, which we like because it's a little bit less abrasive. Now we're just going to hit the edges, get a nice sheen on the edge coats with the neutral polish. Again, this is something you could do at home. We actually have a really nice burnishing wheel, which we could melt the waxes straight into the leather. This is going to give you that really nice edge. We let it sit for a couple minutes. Now we're going to melt the wax back in for our last stage, and then you'll see what a mirror shine this came out. Or spit shine, it's the same thing. Last thing you do is get a conical Q-tip, use your thinner, and just work all the excess polish out of the broguing or perforations. And there it is. Hope you gents enjoyed this video, and you could take something that I've done and maybe apply it to your normal routine.